Hey, welcome to the third and final episode in a series of where Sia Karamalegos has been showing us how to build an e-commerce store end to end using 11T, Netlify serverless functions, and Stripe and cute dogs in the background. And, I'm Matt Ling. I'm a developer advocate here at Stripe, and I'm super thrilled to have for the third time, and hopefully we'll do lots more in the future. Sia Karamalegos. Sia, how's it going?
Hey, how are you? I am excited to talk to y'all today and finish up this little series. Although later on we might do another series to build more on it. But
Yep.
I'm you probably already know who I am, Sia Karamalegos. You can find more about me on sia.codes, and I'm active on Twitter. I'm the Green Greek there too. So feel free to tweet at me with questions too. And throughout this live stream, make sure y'all ask questions in the chat and we'll try to address them whenever we pause. There is a delay between the live stream and when we're actually talking, so it might take a few seconds before we actually notice the question.
Yeah, definitely sit tight, and we'll definitely try to get to you. So maybe let's do a kind of a recap of the what we've covered so far in the other series or episodes rather. So in episode 1, Sia showed us how to manage your product catalog using products and prices on Stripe. So products being the what you're selling, and prices, how you're selling it. So at what amount, in what currency, whether it's a one-time payment or maybe a recurring payment if you've got like a subscription or a kind of a SaaS business. Then last week we covered Netlify serverless functions and checkout sessions. So once you've got your product catalog set up, giving your customers a way to pay for your products, right? So giving them like a really great checkout flow to provide payment information, shipping address if you're selling physical goods, and all that kind of stuff. And then in today's episode, once your customer has actually paid for that, how are you going to fulfill it? So the answer to that is to use a webhook endpoint to listen for payment events, and we'll get into the details there. I'm also using Netlify serverless function. So yeah, it's really cool. I've learned loads and really looking forward to this episode as well. So yeah, let's see. So I think Sia, did you want to kind of like show kind of a parts of the flow of like how, just the actual practical parts of what's actually happening there?
Yeah, and what we're doing. Let's go to the screen share. Yeah. So again, the idea was to build a shop. Sorry, my dog's extra grunty right now. To build out a shop on my website, because I have various Etsy shops that sell different products. Most of them are digital downloads, and I wanted to have them. So now I have this shop. She's so grunty. And right now I've added my coloring pages. Right now they don't yet have different pages. If you're interested in that, that's pagination in 11D, and I'll I don't know, maybe I'll do a separate live stream on that at some point. But the idea is we do checkout, and eventually we'll make it a cart so people can buy multiple things. And so it starts Stripe checkout. If you pay with your card and go through all the steps, you'll get an email from Stripe. And then once that payment is completed, it will trigger a fulfillment serverless function that will send that email. And actually, there it is. So this is an example email. I still need to style it better. And so what will happen is I would get the PDF download, and this is an expiring one. So actually this one is probably expired. So if I open that up, this is what it looks like when someone tries to access it after it's expired. But if it hasn't expired, if it's within a week, then they will get the actual PDF download.
Mm-hmm.
So that's from the user side, what we're doing. If we go to the slides now, we can see, let's see. This episode is focused on that after payment is completed. And so all of this on payment success, this all happens kind of asynchronously. What happens is Stripe will trigger an event called checkout complete. And this has nothing, like the user doesn't have to be on the website or anything at all. It's just completely separate. And so once that event is triggered, we are setting up a webhook inside of Stripe. So that's what this episode is about. And it's going to ping a serverless function, a new one that I'm going to create today. That's our project success function. And inside of that function, we are then going to, we get the items that they bought, and then we are going to get what's called that signed URL. That's that expiring link. And that's requested from AWS S3 in a private S3 bucket. And then once we get that link, we are going to email them. And I'm using SendGrid in this example, at least for now. So yeah, that's the fulfillment. I think that's the last. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing today.
Yeah. So maybe I'll like kind of give a bit of background on why, you know, a webhook endpoint is really useful for your, you know, for your system. So kind of due to the asynchronicity of payment systems these days, like back in the day, for example, when just creating charges with cards, it was kind of considered to be synchronous in the sense that you would create a charge, and then the you know, the network, the card network would be asked, you know, hey, can we process the charge? And they would say yes or no, and then you would know immediately, okay, that's not, that has succeeded or not. But for example, with things like SCA, strong customer authentication, which is important very important in Europe, for example, the user will be oftentimes be sent off to a separate flow where they need to authenticate the payment. And really the best way to know about whether, you know, that separate process has actually succeeded is actually to listen out for a confirmation directly from the bank, obviously through Stripe via a payment notification, which is it's not quite asynchronous. Or we talk about like delayed payment notifications, for example, that might be SEPA, which is days, and then kind of relatively immediate notification, that'd be cards. But certainly like webhook endpoints enables you to actually process those types of events. Also, like delayed, maybe touching on delayed notification payment methods. So for example, in Europe, SEPA is really, really popular. And I think, Sia, you're surprised by that. Like, you know, like if you pay, you know, oftentimes you'll pay for something, and that payment with SEPA debit might not clear from 2 to 14 days. Very rarely would be 14, but like 2 is around, I think, around normal business days. So like if you get paid by somebody who's paying with SEPA, you know, you're just not going to know for a number of days, right? So you need to have some sort of mechanism, some sort of route into your system where Stripe can tell you, hey, great, we've just received, or those funds are processed now, and you can go ahead and fulfill your service. So again, really, really important part of your infrastructure if you're doing business, you know, on the internet. Yeah, so maybe we can pause for questions at this stage about like asynchronicity, webhooks, or the general architecture. And feel free, of course, to shout anytime as we go.
Shout via your keyboard.
Shout via your, yeah, just type in caps. Otherwise, I guess like we can just press on, right? And like get hacking.
All right, let's dirty hackers. Okay, let's get it started. All right, so what we need to do is we need to, we were talking about the Stripe CLI stuff. Oh, yay, Tony's ready for this webhook lesson.
Yep. Hopefully we'll have some something interesting.
Right. It would help if I open the correct code.
Live code and
right. So as I mentioned, we're going to have a new serverless function. So let's create in our functions folder. I'm going to call this purchase success. It is a JavaScript file. It's starting a little slow here. Like all of the Netlify serverless functions, we need to have an exports.handler equals async function. And we don't need a name for the function. And they always have event and context. So we are going to need some information from this event once we get that webhook that's sent from Stripe. So what I can do is grab the body and the headers from the event. And then I was going to, I think I said I was going to start this a different way, but I'm like, I don't know if that's a lot to log already. Should we console log or just make sure this is being hit? Let's just do a console.log. And sure, let's do the body. I won't do the headers, but I'll do the body.
Yeah.
All right. So now what we need to do is we need to listen and trigger things. Oh no, we just want to trigger something, right? Or what do we want to do?
Yeah, so I think what we'll do is the Stripe CLI is kind of your Swiss Army knife for developing against the Stripe API. So what we're going to do is the first thing we'll do is we'll listen for events on your account using the so-called Stripe listen command. We're going to forward them to your local dev machine, right? So that's like the first thing we'll need to do, just to set up that tunnel, basically, that's going to tunnel the events from your Stripe account to your local dev machine. So that's Stripe listen -F to forward.
Oh yeah. First, let me start my server. So Netlify dev is how I start my server, and so you'll see it inject all my environment variables and start my server.
Nice.
And yep, so this is working. And the shop is there. So now we need to do. If we just triggered an event manually, we wouldn't need to do this. But
so I think you do need both, right? Because like you could trigger it, but as long as you're not forwarding it, it just won't go anywhere, right?
Oh,
like,
that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think in fact,
the
last time I practiced this, it's Stripe event resend. So we're going to resend an event. But yeah, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of that particular call.
We're going to do the old-fashioned way first. So we're going to do Stripe listen. I don't know what -F stands for.
That stands for forward. So forwarding to localhost. Yeah, exactly.
So forward events to this. And we'll talk about at the very end how you would set up your webhook in the dashboard for production when we're ready. But when we're just trying to develop on localhost, we need to set up this listener. And so that is my the path to my serverless function, because it is in the functions folder and is called purchase success.
Yeah. So you could like do something like go to a checkout now or
let's do a checkout, and let's do my work email. 42.
Love the 42s.
I know. I always do the numbers that are on the left half of the keyboard.
You can do 02s, and now unfortunately it's like we've just gone past February 22, so it doesn't work anymore. Like, oh no.
Sorry,
yeah. So that's
I always make sure the year is a few in advance. You know what? I am going to save this card because I am tired of
Chrome. That's totally cool.
I know, right? I'm saving the test card.
That was fast.
And so this is the live thank you page, because it's a redirect that's coming from Stripe. So I can't use localhost for that. So if I wanted to go back to my localhost, I need to hit, or actually, let me just type localhost 8000 so we don't mess up later on. Or is it 888? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Looks great.
Stripe's becoming a new best friend. Oh, yes, it is. I'm a big fan of the Stripe docs. They really are helpful.
Yep. They're pretty
good. So we did that. Did anything happen? It looks like some stuff happened in the Stripe CLI listener. Let's see what happened in my dev server. And look, something did happen. We console logged the body.
Nice.
So there's that event ID, which I just copied because we don't want to check out every time we're debugging this. So we're just going to like resend this specific event so we can debug stuff. But we can see there's a lot of information already in here, like the data, the subtotals. I didn't collect a billing address, but I could if I wanted to in the settings. And then these customer email. That's important because remember, I need to send them an email. And then the other thing I need to get is those line items. So let's go ahead and start doing that stuff and start building out this function a bit more.
So yeah, that's an
The
interesting
first
thing.
thing we
Like,
need to do,
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead. Sorry, good. No, I was just going to say, yeah, line items. You have to actually retrieve those with a second API call.
Yep.
And in
But
fact,
first, before we even do that, right, we need to do a bit of security.
yes, yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
So, you know what? Oh, there it is. So we are going to try some stuff. Let's go ahead and write the catch, because I always forget if I don't write it right away.
Yeah.
So catch oops.
Nice.
We are going to console.error. I'm assuming that still works on Stripe web hook failed with her.
Funny, I very rarely ever use console error. That's interesting.
I use it if it's an actual error, or I try to remember to rather than a console log.
That makes sense.
I overuse console log all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I forgot? The other thing that you really have to have in a serverless function is you have to have your return. And that return has to send at a minimum a status code.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, sorry, this is all within, this should be within the catch. So if we have this error, we need to then return status code 400.
Mm-hmm.
And then the body would be webhook error. Let me clean this up a bit. Actually, I might have prettier on right now, but I also need my return down here, which look, I never did that. I never did that in here. So on the main branch, I never actually did my return. So what would be the return that we should do? Because we don't want it to just stall out, right? So what, status code something?
Yeah, so
what
Stripe,
would the status code be? Because it's not actually on the live website.
It's going to be 200.
Yeah,
like, or in the range, right? 200, because so that's actually a really good flag, right? So because when Stripe sends events to your post, like literally posts events to your webhook endpoint, what it expects is that you respond with a status code in the range 200. 200 is okay, as quickly as possible. And what you're telling Stripe then is like, hey, I got the message, great. I'm either going to process it async, or I might have processed it in like in line or in band, if you like. A lot of we sometimes if you've got a really traffic site, and you might be getting a lot of events. Some people like just enqueue events in another system, like maybe using, I don't know, I think it's RabbitMQ or some sort of queuing system, and like process them like offline. So yeah, 200 just tells Stripe, okay, cool, I got the message, great, and don't send me any more of those.
So does it need a body too, or just a status code?
It can, I think it doesn't need a body, but like it's totally fine if you do it. Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to.
It could be like an empty.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Okay, so what are we going to try? This is where we need to do a bit of security.
Yep.
So we want to check to make sure that this is really from Stripe and not someone pretending like they paid just to get a free, really valuable coloring page.
Exactly. Yeah.
So check that the event really came from Stripe and not a nefarious hacker.
Yep.
So you know what?
We might even need to require
I don't have any libraries in here yet.
Right.
We need that part. All right. So I am going to do my we're going to have a few keys in here, and I'm going to do it the simple way. In the last session, we talked about how you can handle multiple like production and staging keys and dev keys separately. But in this one, I'm just going to, because it's going to have more keys in it. So I'm not going to do that step, but just look in the other one if you want to figure out how to switch between different keys automatically when you're in different contexts. So I'm going to say const Stripe key equals process.env.stripe secret key.
Yeah, so that's the one for making calls to the API directly. Okay, awesome.
And then we also have a webhook key.
Yep.
Where would we have gotten that for dev?
Yeah, so in this particular case, when you start the Stripe CLI listening for events, it spits out a webhook secret for you. So there you go. It's whsec _ right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
There you go.
I've already saved it in my Netlify environment variables, but like I had forgotten where we gotten it.
Yeah, right.
So this is Stripe webhook secret.
Nice.
All right, so we have those two keys, and now we need to start up Stripe, which is const Stripe equals require Stripe, and then we immediately invoke it with our secret key.
Yeah, totally.
Stripe key. And so now we have Stripe available. I can actually do things with it. And what we are trying to do is say that our Stripe event equals stripe.webhooks.construct event. And then I'll let you explain this while I type it up.
I'll answer in the chat.
Oh, are there people?
Yeah.
Oh, the .env. Okay, so the I would watch the last episode. There's multiple ways you can handle environment variables. I'm using Netlify to handle them, so I actually save them in the Netlify dashboard for this project. And then whenever I run Netlify dev, it automatically injects them in my dev mode as well as production mode, which is really nice. Otherwise, you would have to do something like a .env and install that package, and then also like migrate them inside of Netlify. I feel like there's more steps that way than like the newer way of managing them inside of Netlify. Construct event.
Yeah.
Oh, I just realized this is not an object. So we need to send it the body, and then that we got from Stripe. And we need to give the Stripe signature.
Yeah. That's going to be all caps, I think, too, potentially.
It wasn't in our other code.
Oh, shoot, really? Let me see. Okay,
and then
let's run with it.
Huh?
Yeah, okay, cool. Maybe I forgot.
Well, right here, it's not.
Oh, I was thinking the key, though. The key to that header is like, just on the last time I did it. I can't, maybe though it's not in Node, because I might have been writing Ruby. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. I didn't console log the headers, but we could to see if you want.
I can look in our docs for that.
We already saw the body. Actually, let's just do both for now. Body and headers. So we're going to console log both of them. And right here, what is this? Do you want to explain what this is doing?
Absolutely. Yeah. So what the construct event is doing, it's taking three things. It's taking the raw body post that was posted to the webhook endpoint. It's also pulling out a specific signature out of the headers that Stripe also sends to the endpoint. And then finally, we pass the webhook secret key, right? So that's a secret because only Stripe knows it and only your system knows it. And the whole idea here is that inside of construct event, the code is checking that signature against what the body and the webhook key basically would also generate for the signature. So basically, it's like a hash. So what's happening is, construct event is saying, hey, I'm gonna hash this body with this webhook key. In this case, our webhook key, it's a webhook secret, and then compare it to the signature that Stripe sent us. And if they match, then we know that this event came from Stripe. So basically, ultimately, what's happening is we're saying we're only going to trust stuff that was sent from Stripe, right? So that's the ultimate goal here with the construct event, and that will throw an error and then land in the catch block if that event may have not come from Stripe.
Yep. And then if it doesn't error, we just keep going with our code.
Absolutely. We can.
And so I've just really right here, I've done Stripe event.type. Actually, let me put event type. Oh gosh, it's so hard to type today. Comma. I should put some stars, right? This is like professional JavaScript debugging here. I am professional code person. Anyways, okay, so now we are going to fake another event by where was that?
Yeah, we should
this
be
event.
able to
We're going to
resend
retrigger
this
event, so I don't have to actually check out every time. And I think I need to open yet another thingy, right?
Yeah, you're going to need like Stripe events resend and then paste that in, and it should just resend that event from your account, and that should then be listened to by your other console window or console session, and then forwarded to your endpoint. So we should see some. I think it's gonna be Stripe events resend. So it's like 3 keywords. Yeah, I did a bit of
maybe events not resend.
I think it's events space resend. I believe I did a bit of practice with this today just to.
Oh,
wait, this one's okay. Cool. Okay.
Construct event is
Stripe
not a button because I put construct.
Oh, really? Yeah, there you go. I love it how like
English is hard.
Coders can like spot one missing letter in a wall of text within like milliseconds. It's like the superpower.
Sometimes I feel like when you're new, you don't see that.
Yeah, for sure. Like we could have been go around in circles for ages.
I know. At least Dan is appreciating.
Thanks, Dan.
I know. I used to worry about like either messing up or being dumb live. But then I realized when I was teaching like a coding boot camp that it actually really helps people, especially newer, to realize that we're not really perfect.
Like totally. No one's fallible. So
yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so we got to retrigger it again because we got to spell correctly.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
I love these pretty colors. Sorry, I'm like
looks well.
distracted by the colors. So now I'm like not clicking in the right place. No signatures found matching the expected signature for payload. Are you passing the raw request body you received from Stripe?
Okay, so usually what my hunch here would be that the keys are
maybe they changed.
The keys are mismatched. Yeah. So
let's go over here and what I could do, this is just a dev key, so I don't mind console logging, but I could console log my key.
You can roll those anyway. So like, you might want to try, putting just like hard coding it as a first attempt. Oh, wait.
Oh, I'm just I'll double check this too. Cool. Yeah, I'm doing it a weird way. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
I realized what you just said.
Go first.
So I keep switching screens when I need to stay in this one. So FXN. Yeah, they've changed.
Okay. That's probably the issue.
So I'm just gonna do what you said the first time. And you don't do this in real life.
Nope.
But because this is only a dev secret, or if it is a real secret, I'll go change them. But don't. I can't type.
This is the real deal. Oops. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm clicking too quickly here. Yeah.
Coding and oh yeah, exactly. Because usually I have like 2 screens, and so I'm like not
right.
Okay, so let's try triggering again.
That's cool that you don't need to like have to like restart this dev server or anything like that. That's like hot reloading is like
yeah, look
200. All right, it completed.
Yeah. And we
just got paid.
The event type is
fantastic.
We got paid fake money.
It's
All
funny because
right.
like in some of my billing accounts, where I was testing things out, I've like made just multi millions in like test
Right.
dollars. It's so nice to see them sometimes.
Another $1.99 added to my fake money account. All right. So our event type is Stripe or checkout.session.completed. And this is important because there are multiple event types. We're not going to do fulfillment on every event type. We're only going to do it on this particular one.
Correct. Yeah.
So I'm actually going to copy paste this because I am a fan of copy paste so I don't mess up. And so what we need to do is we are going to do that check. So if, oh, wow, I forgot caps lock was on. If Stripe event dot type equals checkout session dot completed, then we're gonna do our stuff.
Yeah.
And this is the fun stuff. First we need to get that event object data, right?
Yeah.
Remember, we don't really have anything except the customer email, but we need. I forgot to remind y'all because you don't have this project memorized, but each one of these there's a product ID for each one of these coloring pages inside of Stripe. Actually, let me just go ahead and show you the dashboard.
Nice, yeah.
Because you probably forgot, but I'm using the Stripe products as my database because at the moment I don't need additional data. We're in test mode. So I have metadata in here that will tell me the additional information I need. So down here, this is the file name that I have saved in AWS S3. And I have some other things that I'm not really using for this, but I need to get this file name so that I can send them the correct file.
Yep. And so metadata, like if you haven't used it before, it's like just a multi-purpose key value store that's available on, I'm pretty sure, like all Stripe objects in the API, if not most, where you can do things like if you've got a customer object and maybe you've got your own database with it, maybe a primary key in that database, like you could save a reference of that primary key on your customer object so that you've got that association and you can like do all sorts of wonderful stuff that way. So yeah, like it's like general purpose key store, the key value store. So really useful.
So we're going to get that event object data from that Stripe event. Stripe event. Wow, I don't know why typing so hard today. It's Friday.
Come on.
And like, the world is all like out of control right now.
Yeah.
We're just trying to hold it together. So stripe.data.object. So now I have like the event data, but what I really want is my items, which right now it's just one item, but in the future I do want a shopping cart, and we'll consider building that out later. We'll do another series of them so that we can start doing fancier checkout things. And this is where we could also say, like, all that I'm doing so far, we really probably could have just used a payment link instead of Stripe checkout. We were going to mention this at some point in this live stream. I forgot when. Because you don't actually have to do all of this. Well, actually, you would still need to do this part. But some of the stuff we did before, you could have just used Stripe payment links. But because I want to add on later, I'm going to setting up Stripe checkout.
Yep. Yeah, totally legitimate choice. Both are completely valid and both are really, really great products. Yeah, absolutely.
So these are my line items. We are going to wait Stripe dot checkout dot sessions dot wow, that's not sessions dot list line items. Speaking of Ruby, actually I shouldn't. I'm not going to start. There's drama in the Ruby community today.
Oh no,
we're not going to go there.
Anyway. Oh, I forgot about we were using expansion. Such a cool thing. Okay.
Yeah, you can talk since I'm just typing.
Yeah, so expansion is like a really, really cool feature of the Stripe API where basically you can, with one API call, you can request in that API call that certain attributes that would be normally IDs in the response are fully expanded with the objects that represent that ID. For example, if you were asking for requesting a checkout session, retrieve a checkout session, and that might have an ID for a payment intent. You could say, hey, I want
Oh,
the
is it
checkout
like
session.
includes, kind of like in Rails? And sorry, since we're talking about
In a
Ruby,
way, yeah. It's kind
like
of
where
like
it
the way,
includes. Yeah.
yeah, I kind of think about them, or sometimes kind of reason on them as like it's a little bit like a join. It's like, hey, don't
Mhm.
give me the the data that belongs to that foreign key or ID. Like you know about GraphQL, right? Like so, I don't know whether like there's an analogy there like that fits, but yeah, I think about it a bit like that, like a kind of a join.
Mhm.
Um, and it's pretty nifty. Dan, like I think I tweeted a whole thread about this just last week, and there's tons of stuff you can do. Like you can even expand in list requests, right? So let's say you've got kind of let's say you're listing out a bunch of customers and you want to list their payment methods as well. Like you can say, in that list request, okay, give me all the payment methods for a customer, or give me all the payment intents for a customer, but also expand all the payment methods that were used in for those payment intents. So in one call, you get like all of those objects, like basically in a whole response. So it's pretty cool. Sorry, I kind of hijacked you there, Sia.
Oh no, that was good, because then I could like see what I'm supposed
so
to do
so
next.
what you've done here is, okay, give me all of the line items that belong to this checkout session, and expand the price and product data for that checkout session line item. So that's really cool. All in one call.
This is probably also not the best way to do this, but I only have one
Yeah,
item, so
yeah,
that's why
yeah.
I'm
You might
doing data
iterate.
0
Yeah, like
instead.
if you had more than one, you would, I guess,
Yeah,
iterate.
I would do a loop through these and then have
Yeah,
all of them, but
yeah.
because it's
Makes sense.
just one at the moment, we don't have to like, what's that thing when you over engineer it before you
Yeah,
actually need it? We're not
yeah,
gonna do that.
yeah. Not today.
So that's the product. And so this product will have we could console log it. I'm such a fan of console logging until I have stuff finished. But the file name will be in the metadata. Actually, yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do it. Console log product. And then I'm gonna hide these other console logs. Did I already delete them? Okay. Let's just, so what's cool about Netlify CLI too is that it's it will also you see how it reloaded my function when I saved the file. So it's not just like the front end that reloads, it's the functions too. It's just like such a smooth setup altogether. That's why I like it for serverless.
Yeah, the DX is really great.
So let's do this again. We're resending our event so that we can then see what is,
Oh, you know what? Somehow
I switched to my real account instead of my test account.
Somehow, yeah. Why did it use the live key there?
I wonder if that webhook key is the live key. That's why it didn't work correctly. Like I need to log in.
It worked last time though. It's for some reason it's using the live secret key to retrieve that the line items or the checkout session.
Let's do a real checkout maybe really quick. I wonder if I'm logged in with the wrong one in the Stripe CLI, because you can log in with your live production and you can log in with your test account on the Stripe.
But it worked the other time when you
I know it's weird.
Okay, cool. Yeah, maybe that's definitely something to try.
So what are we gonna do first? Do another checkout?
Yeah, like I'd try that first, and then
let's
see
get
what gets
another
logged.
purchase. Yay, my saved. Priscilla's getting another coloring pattern. Pay.
Okay, that is yes test. Yeah, cool.
Okay, thank you for your order. Now let's see what happened over here. Oh, look.
That is really peculiar. Why is it using a live secret key? I guess like
I think it's that webhook. I'm like, I wonder if our webhook key is actually like the production version, which is why it didn't work. So like if I switch back to what it was supposed to be here.
Yeah, we could check by looking at one of the events that it spit out, and searching for that event in the in the dashboard in test mode, and then we would know, okay, it's using test mode events.
What I can do, was it webhook secret?
Yeah, I think so.
I think my CLI is logged into the wrong thing.
I see. Okay.
What's what I'm guessing. So what we're going to do is check out yet again, but in localhost. Shop. Let's buy this other one. God, I'm getting so many sales today. I think my other dog should get this one. That is not his name, but whatever. Hey, Carrie, instead of Harry K. Okay. Oh, it's
Yeah.
all angry. All angry.
So I think the fastest way out of this is to reinstate the webhook secret key, and then also to hard code your dev Stripe secret key on line 1.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is the problem. Sorry. You were right. Was I not listening? It's supposed to be Stripe test key.
Oh, there you go. Okay, perfect. That totally explains it.
Oh, also this one was supposed to be I was looking at the wrong line. I had a different key for this one too, which is
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
I wonder if I just re-trigger if this will work again.
I think it should do something.
Yeah.
Hurrah.
Yay,
Yeah,
okay.
hurrah.
Sorry,
Nice.
y'all. Because this is like
Very cool.
this always happens, right? It's not actually like your code that's wrong. It's just you're messing up your environment variable.
Like key management, I'm telling you, it's such a common issue. Like if you sit in Discord long enough, you'll see them flying by.
You know, right? So here's that product information. Yes. He's actually this one. He's like, right here.
Nice.
All right. So we have the product ID, and we can see that the metadata is in here. So in my email, I think I give it like the name of the product also, which should be somewhere. Probably name. Yeah, here it is.
Yep.
Name and file name. Okay, back to actual coding.
Nice.
So now what we need is const what is it? File name equals product.metadata.file name. I could have done a bunch of expansions here, but I decided to keep it simple. Item name equals product.name. And now we need to start doing we need to get that signed URL.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. So we're going to do our fulfillment now. So here's fulfillment. And I'm going to just, I'll explain this function in a second. But first, I'm going to call a function that I've created, const signed URL equals get signed URL with that file name. We don't have this function yet, though, so let me copy paste that because we're not just going to write that from scratch. First, I need to add some more stuff up here. I need my AWS, which is the AWS SDK. And then my S3 bucket, I need to tell it which S3 bucket. If you've never worked in AWS, what I'm saying right now is probably really confusing, but this bucket is basically a folder, and that folder contains all the files with the names that I've set in that metadata. And then I'm just going to copy over this function and explain what's going on. So we don't need to actually live code this part, but In get signed URL, what you first do is you set up your AWS config with your secrets. This is a big gotcha because in Netlify is using AWS Lambda under the hood. So any environment variable starting out with AWS underscore is reserved. So it won't work if you start that way. So you just put a little my in front of it or something. It took me forever to figure out what was going on. So yeah, there's secret keys, access keys, the region, signature version, all that stuff. And then we set up a new S3. And I'm just going to set this at, let's do this at 20 seconds. This is what I did in real life, but like for testing, I want to show that it actually expires. So I'm going to put 20 seconds. It has to be long enough that I have time to click it when we're testing. And then get signed URL. And this is what we need to send to it. It's a get object, the file name, the bucket, remember, which is sia.studio.downloads, and that expiration time, which is in seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, whenever I hear bucket, I think of the bouquet residence, the lady of the house speaking. What's that, Rick? Keeping Up Appearances. Sorry, it's a random reference. You watch too much.
That's very specific English comedy.
Right. Okay, so hopefully this will work. Let's see before we start doing our following along with my super professional coding. We're going to console log that link and see what it does. All right, so we got to trigger our event again. Mm-hmm. Feel free to ask questions in the chat about what I did too. I don't mind answering questions about the AWS stuff too. It's just I didn't want to spend all of the live stream on that. All right, so there's the signed URL. Let's click it and see if it worked. It worked. Sorry, it went to my other screen. Yay.
Super cool. And that's valid for 20 seconds, right?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's already been 20 seconds. Has it?
I feel like maybe another 10.
Let's try it.
We'll see.
Oh, wait. Let me refresh this. Yeah. Because it's like it was in the cache. So
okay.
Unless I do a hard refresh, it's still there. But yeah, so actually if someone opened it, it would still be in their cache, which I don't mind. My dog's being a goober right now on the floor. What are you doing? He's like scooting to like rub his chin. I really wish y'all could see this live. Anyways, so yay, our signed URL worked. That's half the fulfillment, but now we need to actually send it. So now we need to do our SendGrid stuff. And so let me copy paste that in and explain it really quick. Actually, I think this is less complicated. I feel like a lot of the email vendors kind of work similar too. So I have a template ID because I have an email template that I use to send this. And then of course I need to actually import my library, my from email. This is my from email for the email. Sorry, that was a really dumb statement. This is my from email for the from email. It's fine. It's fine. And then we are going to send this message, which this was another thing that I should have set up, like a separate try catch for. So we don't want this console log anymore. So we do SG email, set API key, which actually I should have done that up there, but it's fine. You can have it here. And then the message is an object where we set the customer email. So remember in that event object, we had a customer details section and one property was email.
Yep.
From email is my verified sender because you need that in SendGrid, the template ID. And this is dynamic template data. So this is basically all those parameters that I want to send to customize the email, like the item name, the file name, and this signed URL. And then it creates the email. And so we await this, but I should have wrapped this in a try catch also, right? We'll put a to do here. Or let's just say catch errors. because right now I think it would catch in here, which is not quite true. So we need to redo this, but it's fine for now. So we're save that. Let's try to do the things. Yeah, stuff happening. Oh yeah, this is a SendGrid warning. I'm like, whatever. Theoretically, the email was sent. I can check in my other email account. I have no idea. This is always like, I don't know if it's going to send within the right amount of time. Theoretically, that email was sent. At least we got through our code.
Yeah, looks good.
But should we check for questions?
Yeah, any questions? Let's see. It's all quiet so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe I can speak a little bit around. So webhook endpoints are also important for so in Connect platforms, right? So you'll see that in the dashboard when you're building out a Connect platform, you've also got the option to listen for events on connected accounts, right? So you know, if this purchase, let's say you're running I don't know, a new ride sharing, or let's say if it's a standard Connect, somebody sold something, you know, you can listen to the events on that standard account that's connected to the platform. Obviously, it's a bit more of a complex scenario, but certainly it's definitely relevant in those kind of architectures as well. And like, there's tons of events you can listen on, and I think, you know, getting checkout session completed events is like one of the probably simpler things. But like when you're running a, you know, when you'll probably want to have a much more sophisticated system when you're listening for, you know, you're running a SaaS platform like with billing and stuff like that. So there's like lots of like, you know, subscriptions or you know, cycling and things like that. So really interesting engineering lifts there for anybody building webhook endpoints. Sorry, Sia, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's fine. I was just going to say, the email did come. It was in my spam, of course, which is why on the thank you page, I think I mentioned to check your spam. In my fact, I created a fact page because of this. But
cool.
In case you're wondering, yes. Oh, what's cool is in Stripe dashboard, you can also point to like return policy and stuff, and this page has that. So that's something I set up in the
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, the core of the webhook code is really just this. We construct the event to make sure that it really came from Stripe, and then we take that event and grab the data that was in the event, and then we use the data using, you know, whatever you have to do for fulfillment.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Like, so you're right. Like the main thing is to grab to verify that the event's from Stripe, grab the data out of it, and after that, that's the business logic. It's kind of like up to you, you know, how you want to handle that. Maybe you might, you know, enqueue an event, or enqueue a worker that, or rather a job that a worker will work on asynchronously, or what have you. So yeah, Tony said we're on EP3. There's definitely 2 more episodes to enjoy around, you know, managing products and prices, and then all of the different checkout features, which are pretty great.
We just post the links in each of their descriptions, so it's easier to find.
Maybe I can also plug. We just shipped checkout cross sell. So let's say,
that'll be exciting to do later.
Yeah, if you're selling, you know, maybe a complementary product that, you know, a user could like, or a customer could purchase along with your pattern, then it's like literally, you know, click them together in the dashboard, and then you've got like the potential to like really level up your revenue stream there. Any questions?
Oh, what I should do too though is show. Wait, do I have the dashboard?
Oh yeah, that's actually a good call.
Wait, was
it? So yeah, instead of listening like on the command line in production.
Yeah, like how do we set up the webhook? So I gotta do that. Sorry, it's a different Chrome login. Dashboard. So we're in the dashboard. If I just switch to where you find it is in developers, and then webhooks. I don't have any hosted. Actually, it does look like I have it here.
So that's actually that's your CLI.
Yeah.
Like that's basically saying, oh, my CLI is listening on that endpoint.
And then here it is in production. I won't click on that because it has webhook secrets, although I might need to redo that one because I don't know if I accidentally copied that one. So I'll probably need to redo that one. But when you add it, there's not really a ton of fields here. You would put the endpoint URL, which for me is my purchase success function, which it's my domain, and then this. So https:// I never type this manually, but sia.studio, and then this is the function to hit. And then I'm gonna delete this so that I remember to and then select events. We only care about checkout session completed.
Yeah.
And add event, and I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yep, that's all you need.
And there's that signing secret. This is a different event. This signing secret is the one we need to copy over into our environment variables, though, right?
Yeah, for production, yeah, exactly. That would be your production webhook secret.
Because I think I did make a mistake and copied that one at one point, and then nothing was working. But I really needed to copy this one. I'm going to reveal it because I'm going to delete it anyways. So it's going to be this one that starts with whsec _ev. So
yeah, I delete that then. Pretty
before
quick
someone cheats and steals all my covering pages.
Free.
I've got 10 seconds to do that before someone. Oh no, which one is which?
The one with delete me in the description.
Yeah, but look, it doesn't show the description.
Click in. I guess it should show you if you click in.
Oh, that one has no description. Okay. It's fine. I'm gonna rebuild it anyways afterwards, just in case I accidentally shared the other one.
Yeah. No, the cool thing is you can just like recreate it, and it will be and switch out the secret, and you'll be good to go. You'll be fine. Yeah, cool. Gosh, maybe like we can just like recap then, like the whole series. Firstly, thank you so much, Sia. It was like just brilliant to watch you work and to see your process and to see how like brilliant you are with 11T and all that stuff and serverless. I learned tons. So let's like recap. So yeah, episode 1, I think we covered managing your products and your prices at Stripe and leveraging metadata to have custom attributes which you could pull in once the checkout session is completed. In episode 2, we covered
so I got prices directly from Stripe. And that's how we pulled in our products. But yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. And then the second part was the checkout session serverless function. You go ahead.
Oh, that's this one. So that's this file. We did await Stripe checkout session.create. And this was there's basically a little form on these buttons are forms. So if I were, oops, I didn't really want to hit that. But we actually, what I will say I was excited about is that we're not using client-side JavaScript to do this. I'm just using an old-fashioned form, and then when you click the button, it automatically does a form submit to this action, which on the live code, I have a redirect set up. But this is that .netlify/functions/create checkout session.
Yeah, cool. And then did like the redirect to the the Stripe hosted checkout page, and then what you saw today was like actually fulfilling an order. So that's like so that's the whole end-to-end implementation. Super cool. And I guess like follow us on Twitter. Let's see if I have. Follow Sia at the Green Greek on Twitter. My name's or my handle is Matt Ling _dev. I guess it's somewhere. It's gonna be like right here. And yeah, like join us. Definitely follow on Stripe Dev on the YouTube channel for more episodes on hacking live, on building out e-commerce things. Anything else I need to add? Oh yeah, Sia's main website is sia.codes. And also sia.studios for all the artwork.
I'm still trying. I need to redesign it, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Yeah, and I don't know. Thank you for me, Sia. Over to you, maybe.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. Like I said, it's not too complicated. I know the next steps for this site in case y'all are interested. There is an 11D Discord. So if I do this more publicly, like I need to do pagination for these. I'm going to make each of these a little bit smaller and then use pagination to create a separate product page for each product. And then I'm also going to split out by category, and that's data that will be in the Stripe API, like more metadata. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, like using 11D to build out, I'll do that at some point. And then we were talking about, like, after we take a little break, maybe at some point we will do another series of oh, sorry, I was pointing to things and we weren't.
Oh yeah, no worries. I might have taken it down too quickly.
And then we're thinking about doing a shopping cart maybe thing at some time. So if you're interested in that, let us know, and maybe we will actually do it after we.
Yeah, tweet at us with ideas. That's a good idea too.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we're right on the hour. So thank you everybody for joining, and yeah, enjoy the other 2 episodes if you haven't seen them, and see you next time.
Yay.